What was the transition like for both of you coming into this season, knowing last season was a little bit of an injury-plagued year? What adjustments were kind of made to counteract that and improve this season?
You can take that one because I wasn't right.
Well, we definitely, I think, took just definitely a bigger look at maintaining an injury-free season. I think we were a little more aware. Last year was kind of like a shock almost, because years before that we haven't really had any serious injury problems, especially with top runners. It was just kind of, yeah, it was definitely a surprise. So I think this year we were a little more aware of that and tried working around it as much as possible. Unfortunately, with running, there's always going to be injuries and there's always going to be pain and discomfort. The thing that you don't want to have, though, is something that's going to be long-term and keep you from running all season.
Yeah, we've also been doing lots of auxiliary workout type stuff too that's focused specifically on injury prevention. For example, these guys are just over in the gym. After practice today, they go over for 15-20 minutes and just do a basic workout. Nothing crazy, nothing too insane, but just the little things to keep those nagging injuries from getting any worse.
You guys have been doing pretty well this season. At the Waynesburg meet, I know, Dylan, you had a really great, you placed second individually with, I think, your record time under 27 minutes. You also, just last weekend at PSU, Barand Invitational, had another really great time. The team finished 6th out of 17, which was really good. So far, I mean, I know you played, I guess, what, about, or, we've had about half the matchups so far, or half the meets so far. How things just overall been going for you so far, and how's the overall lookout for the team?
Well, I think this year we definitely, I've been running since freshman year, so it's been quite a long time, I guess you could say. But definitely, I think year by year the program's getting stronger and stronger, and recruiting's becoming better and better. And this year we really, as a team, are, I think, growing as a unit more so than just. The thing about cross country is it's a very individual sport, and a lot of times you are running by yourself. A lot of my races I'm running by myself, which isn't a bad thing, but it's nice to have the team aspect in there too. And I think that's one thing we've really worked on, is running as a team and really working together, cheering each other on, stuff that hasn't really been there in the past per se. And I think that kind of helps mentally and morally. Just you feel great. You're knowing that your teammates are there for you, and you can be there for them as well. It hasn't been anything too different. Personally, I think I've just felt a lot stronger and gotten to the point where I want to run faster. I'm tired of being in like the same position. I've been in the same time range every year, and I just wanted to kind of take it to another level this year, break through another wall essentially.
It's also going to be interesting to see where we stand too after this weekend, after St. Vincent. Because, like you said, that'll be about our halfway point. We'll be 3 meets in, and then after that we have a week off, and then CMU Wash a week off, and then the regional qualifiers. So we're at a point now where we have our top 5 guys are running sub 30, which is a huge breakthrough for a lot of them, and it really helps the team scores. And by the time we have a week off to recover, a home meet, and then Wash is a nice quick meet. Last year the guys only ran a 5K instead of 8, which was awesome because it gives our legs time to recuperate. But really, by the time we get to the regional qualifiers, we're going to be concentrating, like Dylan said, on the team stuff. So we'll actually be racing a race versus just running a race and seeing where we finish. There'll be a lot more strategy that goes into it now that we have the talent behind those ideas.
I remember I heard you, Tim, talking at the gym the one time when I saw the end of that one practice in the gym, the workout, and you said that it's really important to work on every single facet of the body, not just working on the legs. Just how important has that been, and how do you just continue both, just from a coach perspective and as a player's perspective, maintaining that? Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people think that for cross country all we do is just run an insane amount of miles every day, and obviously that's the main chunk of what we do. But overall fitness is just as important in our sport as it is any other sport. These aren't the biggest guys or even the most in shape people that you'll ever see. But it's important because you're really taxing your body and you're bringing it to the limit. I mean, you've got kids passing out and throwing up during, before, and after each race. It's really a sport that will break you down emotionally, physically, mentally.
So the stronger you are physically, the more that helps with everything else.
Dylan, you have placed your best time this year so far. I think you actually, in the last meet, just last Saturday, I think you broke your record for your best time. Have you been doing anything different in your training routine this year as opposed to last year? I know you said you wanted to bring your own level up, so could you explain a little bit about what you've done to help make yourself even better?
Well, one thing that I've really worked on, definitely on the mental aspect, because running's very, very mental. I've been kind of just pushing myself, and during workouts, just thinking to myself, this isn't a workout. This is technically a race. You know, thinking of it in that aspect. You know, even though there aren't any competitors around me at the time, with the exception of the team. I am still thinking in that mindset every practice, just going out and running as hard as I can, you know, really pushing to my limits, and just seeing how far my body can go without, you know, before I break down mentally. But so far I haven't broken down, which is good, thankfully. Knock on wood. But I'm definitely just pushing a lot harder than I ever have before, and it's definitely turned out a lot better results than I've thought. There's definitely a point where you said to yourself, okay, I think I'm going to give up now, and I've kind of just totally disregarded that mindset and kind of worked on getting around it in a sense.
Tim, just to give a little bit of equal footing, just what have you made of the women's efforts so far this season? I know they placed 4th last week, but just what do you make of the consistency there and just some of the new people coming in there as well?
Well, we got a lot of really, really good recruits on the women's side, which has helped enormously. And they were, like you said, 4th out of 17 on Saturday, which was excellent, and that was with one of our top 3 runners running injured. And so if we had been at full strength, they would have easily made top 3, if not taken the whole thing, which is really exciting for us, especially on the women's side goes. Most importantly, though, I think, and Dylan will probably back me up on this, but the most important and significant change I've seen on the women's side is just the mental approach, you know, to the sport. They're having a lot of fun with it. The entire girls team gets along very, very well. They push each other through the practices, and they've just become so much more of a cohesive unit. So that, coupled with, you know, the good recruits that we have, are the main 2 reasons why they've made such a jump.
Dylan, just as a follow-up, just what do you see in them as well? I'm sure you train side by side or at least close by with them. Just what's the support like from team to team and just seeing them improve?
Well, like I said before, we've really focused on being integrated, not just within the men's team but the women's team as well. You know, after every lap of a workout, we're concentrating on making sure that, you know, they're just giving them a high five or just the casual, you know, keep it up, work hard, and I think that really helps them out a lot, just having a little extra support from our side, because we've never really fully integrated as an entire team, you know, both men and women's sides. But I think that they're definitely running a lot stronger, and I think taking the workouts on as they're taking it a lot more seriously, but still having fun in the same mindset.
Now the women's team, I know, has a lot of underclassmen. I think 8 out of 11 on the roster are underclassmen, a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores. Since cross country is such an individual sport, does experience, I mean obviously experience is important, but is the leadership as important as it is in other sports, and where's it coming from for the women, because they are very much a younger team?
Yeah, they're definitely younger. A couple of our sophomores are actually transfers that have ran before, which helped. So they're a sophomore, you know, in name only, but they do have the experience. But from a broader perspective, we still have Lindsay Dill, who's a 5th-year senior because she redshirted the season due to injury. And so, you know, this is her. She's been, you know, through the rigors of everything, healthy and hurt, and out of anyone, guys and girls, she probably has the most cross-country experience in general. So to have her as the captain of the girls team has really helped out. Both her and Dylan have you know, taken a lot of extra things on their shoulders as well. So that pays off. She's really good at pushing the younger kids, and also just being that role model. This sport is impossible to do unless you really love doing it. And when the younger kids see someone in her position that has been through battle and still really enjoys the opportunity to run, they can't help it. It's contagious.
Just Tim, I know switching gears, next week is the start of something that I'm sure you and I are both looking forward to in the training. Just take everybody through that and what kind of a process it is to sign up for those that are interested.
Okay. Yeah. This next week we're going to be starting the personal training over at the Student Center. And Zach, you've obviously been one of my main guys for the past year. Made great strides, great improvement. Definitely one of my role models and examples for everybody else. But we're going to be doing things a little bit differently this year. The way we have it set up is the program is going to be broken down into several contests, and we keep track of those contests via the Facebook page. Everything pretty much goes through the Facebook page now. It's all social, it's all interactive, and also this way we can handle a lot more people. I know last year some people got left out in the cold just because we didn't have enough hours to go around, etc., etc. But you're gonna have some competition this semester.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm going to jump back to cross country a little bit. So one thing I always find interesting is kind of how people start doing what they do. Dylan, how did you get involved with running? I don't know if you did in high school. I know obviously you've done it here for a long time. And also, Tim as well, how have you gotten involved with the team here? And if you guys want to elaborate on that, go ahead.
I didn't run in high school. I ran track senior year of high school. I was homeschooled my whole life, so I wasn't really allowed to be involved with school sports, unfortunately. But not that I blame anyone for that. So basically, yeah, senior year I ran track. I ran the quarter mile, which is obviously quite a big jump from running that to a 5-mile race. But I kind of just threw myself into it and went with what I had. I think one thing that really benefited me was playing soccer. I played soccer pretty much all my life, and having the ability to just run long distance like that, up and down the field for 90 minutes is essential to running, I think. And that was a big help in terms of preparing for running here at Point Park. At the same time, though, yeah, I mean, it was definitely just a big jump for me. Not really having any training at all. I think the most I had run, even before the first day of running here for preseason, I'd run like maybe a mile, I don't know, and then I got here and I had to run 6 miles the first day I was here. So it was a big jump. It was a big jump for sure. I don't know if you want to talk a little more about that.
College. Funny too, because I never ran in high school either. I was homeschooled as well, and the first time I ran was for Point Park, and I really enjoyed it because the only person stopping you from getting any better at it is yourself. And I think for those of us who enjoy the mental aspect of sports just as much as we enjoy the physical part, that's really important. No one's ever going to tell you, you maxed out, you're at your peak, you can only get this good, unless it's yourself doing that. So that's something that I think everybody on the team really has a challenge with at first, and then once you come to accept it, it just makes life so much easier.
Just really quickly, we'll get you out on this one. Just what advice would you give to those that are trying to just either start training or trying to stay fit? What kind of quick advice would you give them?
Well, I would say first of all, you have to learn to enjoy it. You have to realize that no one gets in shape or no one gets good at any physical activity without a little bit of pain. And you have to go in recognizing that it's going to hurt and it's going to suck and you're going to want to give up and you're not going to enjoy it right away. But once you start seeing results, you learn to love the hurt, and that's that sort of runner's high you hear everyone always talking about. There you get to the point where your body just hurts so much, and then all of a sudden it just stops, and physically you're still in pain, but you can't feel it. You block it out, and I feel like if you have that mentality with your approach to running or lifting or whatever it is that you do, if you have the right sort of mentality, you can't help but be good at it.
Yeah, I'm right there with Tim. Keeping an optimistic lifestyle is key to, many things, but definitely running too.